I've always been interested in technology, and I've found a way of turning my hobbies into business. I remember one time, I was driving with my brother, and this is back in the 6x9 era. And I think it was that song Lunatic Fringe came on, and he had those Sherwin Vega 6x9s. I can't remember what they were. They had the little reset button, for the
Oh, yeah.
tweeter had yeah. So, and I was like, man, this is incredible. And so I started taking off the shelf technology, primarily home audio equipment, modifying it to work in my car. And I kludged together something that really became pretty potent back in like 1984. So that's, in that era, I was in college. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a nice car. There's really no way to stand out. So I just took what I had, which was my knowledge of electronics and my love of music and technology. And I integrated those into something that I felt would attract attention, primarily attention from the opposite sex.
We're all salesmen. I think Ernie says that best. We're
and
selling
the
yourself.
thing was, I didn't, at that time, 1984, there was a really amazing cruising area in Arlington, Texas called Cooper Street. And I mean, it's kind of insane, but if you imagine like 2 or 3 miles of bumper to bumper stop and go traffic, 4 or 5 lanes long, and it's just kids having a good time. And in those days, people socialized physically, personally. And so we'd be cruising and I could pull it up my car into a parking lot, open the doors, and it'd be a rock concert. And before you know it, people would come from all over. So that's kind of what got me into it. As far as getting into the industry, that kind of was an accident. I heard that there was a car stereo contest called Rolling Thunder, and George Reed, actually, I have to give him kudos. He is the person that really lured me into the car audio industry. So I heard about that contest, and I couldn't believe that such a thing existed. And I went to that event. I didn't win, but I think I came in second place, but it got me hooked. And from that moment on, I spent all of my money on car audio. So I had like a $20 food budget, ramen noodles. I spent $20 a month on food and all the rest of my money on stereo equipment.
And gas.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to just monologue for you the whole night, but
well, that's why we brought you on.
Well, I was really fortunate. I was in the right place at the right time. Back in those days, you couldn't buy like a 10-inch subwoofer. You couldn't buy a 1,000-watt amplifier. You couldn't go out and get bus bars and interconnect. Everything you did had to be fabricated or modified from something else. I built a car, and I ended up going to the first national championship at the Astrodome in 1984, and I won that event. And that was the inflection point in my life that kind of put me on course to being involved with this industry. So not much time passed after that, and the store where I was purchasing my equipment, every time I go into the store, the owner would say, "So what's it going to take for you to go to work for us?" And I was in college doing electrical engineering. So I was a senior. And one day he asked me, and I said, you buy me a new Corvette and I'll start tomorrow. And he leaned back in his chair and he stood up and he shook my hand. And we went down and bought a brand new fire engine red Corvette. And I dropped out of school and started working for them. Actually,
I wish that was still the case today.
I didn't do anything, really. They just wanted me to use me for marketing and promotional. My job was to put my car in front of the store and demo. That's really what they wanted.
Well, they knew talent when they saw it, and like I say, and it's shown, so.